Hi, guys.
Got it.
Yeah, thanks, Charlotte. Hi, everybody. We'll, as usual, just let everyone slowly sort of join us as well. I think, oh yeah, there you are. Hey, Case. All right, so yeah, we'll just, so we'll give everyone a few seconds to join on as well here. Thank you all for joining us again. I know, actually, we were just talking about here in Sheffield that it's pretty rainy and wet actually after a lovely day. So if it's still sunny, thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. We've got our 5 beers here to try tonight and talk through as usual, and just a bit of a discussion there, but firstly, just to introduce myself, I'm James, the export manager at Thornbridge Brewery. I'm joined by Rebs, our marketing manager.
Hello.
We've got Charlotte, our marketing coordinator, and we've got our special guest tonight is Kees Bubberman from the Netherlands, who's on to talk about our collab beer that we've done together as well, the How the Turntables. So we've got a nice lineup. As always, please, we've got the chat open here. Any questions you've got, anything that pops up, you know, shout it out, pop it in the chat if you like. While we've got Kees on, take the time to ask any questions, anything you can think of, you know, the Dutch beer scene, the British beer scene with us, anything at all that comes in, please ask away, and we'll certainly help out and talk through too. So the last couple are lining up there, but just to let you know, we will be starting with How the Turntables. So this is our collab beer. Nice 3.3 great table beer, so we'll be starting out with that one originally. So if everyone's grabbing those, and Kees, if you want to come off mute, introduce yourself, say hello, and then we'll talk about our collab beer as well. Oh, sorry, you're still on mute there. Oh, yeah.
The old Zoom. Old Zoom.
I know.
Okay.
There we are. Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect.
Great. Well, thank you again for joining us this evening, for taking the time. I know it's a little later there in the Netherlands, so
No problem at all. No problem.
And the beers arrived with you. We had some
I think
trouble
2 days back. 2 days.
Yeah.
The weather's still nice here. It's almost 30 degrees, so it's really nice.
Oh,
Warm, very warm.
Just rubbing it in, really. After now, it's raining here.
We're doing a festival this weekend in Maastricht. 2 days of rain. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's never the best up north, but well, at least hopefully it's a nice summer generally for you there as well.
Yeah, sure, it will be.
Yeah, and yeah, nice to see you. And I mean, so the way we talk through these, I know we didn't quite get a chance to catch up just before, but we'll have lots of people here from Thornbridge Beer Club, all keen to hear about the brewery, about any new beers you've got coming up, where they can find you, anything like that. But most importantly, of course, first, we don't want anyone getting thirsty. We've got our beers here as well. We'll pour them out. But if you don't mind talking us through, you know, a little bit from your side, Kees, if you know, I know you're coming up with the recipe with Dom Driscoll and everything else as well.
Me?
Please, yeah, please.
All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers. And cheers to everyone as well. And again, thank you all for joining us this evening.
Yeah, I hope you like the beer. So cheers. It's a table beer. We normally well know about making and brewing big beer. So it's for us this is something completely different. A table beer. The beer style in the Netherlands is very we don't know it that much, table beer. We of course we have Pilsner, but below that, the 5% ABV, we never make a beer. So it's for the Dutch market, and well, unknown beer. And it's also very difficult because it's low alcohol, low ABV, and it's very difficult to make a beer that tastes like 5-6% ABV. So it's very difficult. So I think we used some oats to get a nice feel in the mouth. It's a big body, and yeah, it's doesn't taste like 3.5 ABV. It tastes like more.
Yeah,
great job.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it over there. And I mean, this really came about, I suppose, on the back of So we were over in Belgium last year. We were actually at a festival, Billy's Craft Beer Festival there. We bumped into each other, had a bit of a chat. You've been friends with Dom Driscoll for many years.
Long time. Yeah, I think 12, 15 years.
Yeah, wow. And you know, you and I have bumped into each other numerous times now over the years too. And so we got to chatting, and we'd never done a collab before. So either with Dom or with Thornbridge. So it seemed like a good opportunity to bring something together, bring our skills together, as you say, and try brewing something low ABV, but with bags of flavor as well. So hopefully we sort of achieved that with this one. It seems it's going well there in the chat as well. Perfect beer for the weather. Lawnmower beer as well, nice and refreshing after a bit of a stint in the garden, I think too. As you say, a little bit of oat and that nice, it's got a little dryness, I think, in there, and then that body's really great, and just that nice fruity, easy drinking character too.
Yeah, very easy drinkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while we've got you, I mean, would you mind talking, you know, tell us about the history of the brewery yourself, you know, how you came to be leading the brewery, opening the brewery, and, you know, for anyone who might see your beers out and about and now be able to try them and know the story of it too.
Yeah, well, we'll start at the beginning. I was a head chef in the kitchen, and I started home brewing as a joke, because a friend of mine said, well, so we start making beer at home. I said, oh, why not? So I started as a home brewer, won some prizes, and one day I met the owner of A. Melissa in Kamperland, and he was looking for a brewmaster. So I started there as a brewmaster. So a big step from brewing at home, 20 liters, to a brewery that makes 1,000 liters. So that was really beginning very difficult. And that was the beginning of the craft beer scene in Holland. So we made some names with De Molen, of course, and A. Melissa. We were at the start of the craft beer scene in the Netherlands. I worked with A. Melissa for 7 years, and then I thought, okay, let's start do something for myself. So I started brewing Case at 2015. So we're here for 7 years almost. Yeah. Making IPAs, or IPA, double IPAs, imperial stouts, and I think every kind of beer we make except sour beers, because I don't like sour beers.
No. I remember we suggested sour beers at first, but it was very quickly shelved. So yeah.
It's difficult to, if you make a beer that you don't like, how can you judge the quality of it? It's all sour. So
yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so from there, like you say, you started out, you were brewing, and now where would people be able to find you in the UK? Have you got an importer at the minute? I know you have in the past, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, we work with Distant Land in Cambridge.
Okay.
I have no idea where you can buy my beers, but I got a lot of rates from the UK, so it's over there.
Perfect. Yeah. So if anyone's looking, as you mentioned, I mean, people knew you from before the actual Case Brewery when you're working at Melissa, and then after that, but you certainly bring a reputation with when you suggested brewing a collaboration beer together when we met up at the festival. It seemed like a no-brainer, really. And nice to give it a twist with that low ABV, as of course you're known for those big, huge flavored beers and the big IPAs and the stouts and things too. So something a little different for both of us. And yeah, hopefully we timed it into the summertime. And like we say, it's a bit of a mixed bag in the Netherlands as well as in England, but hopefully the sunshine continues long enough. And oh, in fact, Steve's just said he sees the cans in quite a few of the online retailers as well. So certainly if anyone, look out for some fantastic Dutch beer, give it a Google look through there in the online retailers, as Steve's mentioned, and you'll be able to find lots of different cases there as well. So give it a try. Is there anything we should look out for that's coming up, Case? Any beers you've got in the pipeline, special collaborations, funky beers, anything?
Well, we're working on the Kalmar Foot Stout Bell 8 editions that are coming out this year. We got some bourbon edition, maybe an Icebox Kalmar Foot Stout. Now we did we're canning tomorrow. We're canning an IPA aged on bourbon barrels for 1 month, and then aged with Talus hop, Talus.
Okay.
So it's vanilla and wood together. This IPA is 6%, so it's very different than normal barrel aged beers. That's really nice. Collabs coming up. It's some brewers from Sweden, Akai. I think we do a collab with Ponoma Brewing.
Okay. Yeah.
In September. In September, there's lots of things are going on.
Yeah. Nice. Fantastic. And are you out and about? Am I going to see you at any more festivals? Are you going to be at any across Europe at all, or in the UK? You over here?
No, nothing in the UK for this moment. Doing festival in Maastricht, and I think we do a lot of festivals in the Netherlands. It's just this time. We don't travel that much. It's difficult with all the problems. We did the Tallinn Crappy Festival 2 weeks back. That was nice.
Yeah, and hopefully, bump into you. I need to get back over myself, back to the Netherlands, and our beer's coming through, of course, with Beer & Co at the moment, so I'll catch up with them. Hopefully it goes down well. It's on its way. It got collected this week, so it's on its way over to you in much larger quantities too. So
perfect. And I'm coming over to Indieman in October, I think, to Manchester.
Oh, okay, nice.
Lovely festival.
Yeah, for sure. And the baths there and things. Rebs has been many times with us as well, and
hopefully we'll be there as well this year. We're just working it all out, but hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, and then we got Steve Hughes there. Beers sound amazing, no sour, so bonus as well. So please keep an eye if you've enjoyed this one. This was, as I say, Dom Driscoll, who's been on our chats pretty regularly with us here, talking through beers and things too, combining nicely with Case here on creating, again, that big, nice, flavorful, low ABV table beer. So thank you. And while you've got the chance, Case, while we've got our, our Thornbridge Beer Club fans, is there anything else you've got coming or want to talk about with us at all, or are you happy enjoying the beer there?
Yeah, I'm really happy enjoying the beer.
Good. Well, cheers again, and thank you, so the guys are often putting stuff in the chat on the side, so stay around as long as you like. We'll talk through the other beers and things too. If you have to get off, of course, as we say, it's later there, we understand, but otherwise, please, if anyone has any questions or anything for Case, please chuck them in there, and thanks again for joining us. So,
okay, well, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Case for taking the time and teasing us about the weather there in the Netherlands. Hopefully we'll get back to some sunshine after this evening with this rain here. But we've got, as I say, we'll talk through the rest of the beers. The next one will be Bayern, but we've also got some Peakender announcements that Rebs has been looking into as well. So Rebs, if you don't mind, please tell us all about what's coming up.
Yeah, so as we mentioned a while back, we were working on a little TBC exclusive thing at Peakender, and so we've kind of just pulled that all together recently. So as you know, we stopped doing brewery tours during COVID, and then post-COVID we have sort of launched the Thornbridge Experience, which is not going into the brewery, just down to kind of health and safety, and the brewers, obviously it's a very, very busy production facility. However, what we've done is we have liaised with our production manager, Dom Driscoll, who many of you will have seen on, I think, the last 2 Beer Club Zooms. And we're going to be running brewery tours exclusively for Beer Club members at Peakender. So we'll announce a little bit more information over the coming weeks, but they'll be running on the Saturday morning. We'll get you guys up to the tap room, put on some, pastries, coffee, tea, etc. Get you in the brewery. Dom will be able to take you around and regale you with lots of interesting information that I couldn't even start to tell you about. But he's very, very good at all that kind of side of things. And then we'll get back over to the brewery for a flight of beer, so you can have the full kind of brewery tour experience as was. So we'll be, as I said, sending out a mailer with the info on that. I think James will be at the tap room as well to welcome you all. And we're going to run a few different time slots over the course of the morning, so hopefully everyone gets a chance to come and get right into the heart of the brewery. So that's what's going on there. And then if you are coming to Peakender, we've just announced a load of the lineup for the weekend. So all of the live music and entertainment that's going on over the course of the weekend. And we're currently working on the tastings, top 10 tastings. So we're hoping to have a fair amount of the brewers who are coming to come and do some tutored tastings, talk you through some of their beers. They usually like to bring all the kind of wild and wonderful things to the tastings. So hopefully we'll have those. And then we'll also be running gin tastings and wine tastings, maybe like a beer and cheese pairing. So again, we're pulling all that together at the moment, and we'll be announcing those in the coming weeks. And I think what we're planning on doing is releasing those tasting tickets to beer club members before everybody else, so you guys get first dibs on, if you are coming to Peakender to get involved with those. So yeah, should be hopefully a good weekend. Fingers crossed that we don't get any rain this year. James likes to say that we always do, but I'm still hopeful that maybe 2022 is the year that we won't. So yes, that's what's going on with Peakender at the moment. So hopefully we'll see some of your faces there. It'd be good to catch up with people in person and have a good weekend.
Cheers, Rebs. As you say, I'm just skeptical. I think sadly I've had so much rain. I remember the early years of actually just pushing people. I spent a whole day pushing people's cars out, so it's much better now. Now we've moved down from Thornbridge Hall. Don't worry, you won't get stuck. But I've gotten very muddy over the years. But as always, it'll be fantastic. And as you mentioned, we're going to be there in person, which is always nice. I'll be in the tap room. I'll be right through. Rebs will be there right through as well. So it'd be great to actually see you, have a beer together, of course, as well, hang out. And have Dominic Driscoll doing the full tour of the brew site as well. So for those who haven't made it up to the tap room yet, we've got the big pizza oven, the shop. You can see now both brewery sites too. So we moved our original brew kit, the whole one down. It's right behind the tap room, literally behind the tap wall. And then the other side, Dom will show you both brew sites. So you can see where we make all the canned beers, all the cask beers. And really just give you the full in-depth, and it is exclusive for Thornbridge Beer Club members too. So very excited to see some of you there and have Peakender back as well. It's been far too long. So, but on mention of that, we keep talking about beer. So I'll pop in and show you, we'll do the next beer here and then talk a little more about Peakender and what else we have coming up. But we brought back an old favorite. So Bayern is a late hop pils. So this one comes in 5%. We brewed this, actually, I remember pouring this myself at Indie Man. And it was one, I think, at the same time or close enough, Man City were playing Bayern Munich, I believe. So actually had quite a lot of annoyed people at Indie Man at me when we put this beer on the bar. It was fairly biased, but it was quite a fun one to do. And it is a real, I won't pour it in here. We're just doing this tasting through. But if any of you have our big Lucas glasses, I really enjoy, I did it this weekend, getting the 440ml can, popping it in there and really enjoying a nice Bavarian pils straight from the big handled glass as well. But for the purpose of this tasting and fitting it in the screen, I'll pour it into one of my tasting glasses here. So this one, Bayern, we call it, it is a Bavarian style pils, so the name fits well with it. You can see it's got that fantastic clarity, great head on there as well. And this one, we brew it with Bavarian yeast, Bavarian malt, Bavarian hops. We want this to be as close as possible to that traditional and classic style that we want. So whereas, we do Helles, Lucas, which has got that nice softness, a little sweetness to it, very easy drinking at 4.2. With the pils, it's all about getting that little extra bite, that bitterness in there. So this is around 35 IBUs. All that noble hop goes in. We don't late hop as we would with some of our other beers where we're putting it really, we do late hop, but not into the tanks itself. So we're not doing that dry hop right in the end of the tank. The late hoppings coming in the hop back for this one. So you get that flavor, but it is that like flinty, that dry, that like just fantastic and so drinkable as well. So I prefer this style, I think myself personally, over like a Helles or something. I enjoy that soft drinkability, but for me, that bite just really brings it in. The brewers I've mentioned before, Dom's mentioned it when he's been on, they love, love, love these Germanic beer styles. They love to brew them with all the local ingredients coming over from Germany, make them as close as possible. I mean, still nowadays, they'll still order fresh beers from Germany too. It's less now that we make lots of them ourselves, but especially in the olden days when we were not brewing as many lagers, you'd see packages arriving from Germany for the brew team, and they'd be trying them all. And of course, now we make our own, but these beer styles are ones, yeah, like I say, we really enjoy. You'll see it at Peakender. Hopefully that sunshine that Rebs has mentioned will be at Peakender as well. And we'll be able to, definitely this sunshine that Rebs has mentioned will be there. And so we'll be there, we'll be able to drink some Bayern. And yeah, for me, just one of my favorite beers. I'm glad we were able to bring it back into can as well. And yeah, nice returning favorite for us there too. How's had a Bayern last night, and then some people come into Peakender, a few on here as well. Sorry Gary, I see you can't make it. And hope all the rain is at Glasgow this week. Yeah, definitely. Rebs and I are both driving down south for the weekend, so we're hoping, yeah, lots of people aren't going to Glastonbury. We don't get too caught up in the rain either, but we'll see how it goes. Tom on, got me Lucas glass out of the fridge. Nicely done. Yeah, it's good. Good way to do it. And like I say, yeah, I sat back, enjoyed this one at the weekend, and it is just a fantastic German style as well. So we'll talk about the next beer as well, and then go through a little bit more of, like I say, what we've got coming up, what's next. But the next beer we have this evening, just to talk through, we're working our way up in ABV here. We've got lots of nice pale ales, lots of fantastic big flavors as well, all as we hopefully kick right into this summer weather. So Quiet Storm, I've mentioned some of you before. Quiet Storm is our single hop series. So we do a bit of a mix within them. We always try and showcase the hops, but in a couple of the beers, we want to do almost a DDH version. Particularly, we love Nelson Sauvin. It's a key hop actually in Halcyon, which is coming up next, well, the Belgian version. But we also put it in, for example, Kipling. Kipling was our original, we were the first people to use the Nelson Sauvin hop in the UK to make Kipling. It's always been a real favorite for us, and we wanted to test it in the Quiet Storm series, this example of single hop beers. But because we did Kipling already, we thought, okay, this is our chance now to try a DDH version. So we just upped all of the hops in here, really went for it. It's got that nice like haze to it as well, as you can see. So let me pour this one out here. If you've got some Kipling at home, try it alongside. You'll notice instantly, like I say, it's got that great haze on here, whereas Kipling has a full clarity to it. It's got, as always, that really nice white head on there. Give it a bit of a swirl, and you'll start to get that like grapey, gooseberry, like almost like a grassy, but in a very positive way. You've got people talk with the Nelson Sauvin about imagining, being out in New Zealand in the fields there. And I always like to enjoy that one, thinking about it myself. And the Kipling had come about originally. We got the hops in. One of our previous head brewers, Kelly, he actually was from New Zealand originally. We've done an Imperial Kipling, which was a double version of Kipling in New Zealand a couple of years ago as well, just before COVID. So we love playing around with this hop, doing all sorts of different things, and think it really comes through nicely in here. Again, I like that softness to it, even at 5.5. And those, like I say, that kind of sharp, fresh, like really fantastically, not mouth puckering, but just a little bit of a freshness to it as well in this hop. So this is a great one. Whenever I'm pairing the Nelson Sauvin, for me, it's always like a fish or seafood or something like that. We have grilled squid with lemon on this one, but all of those I think work really nicely with this. If you're having like nice cod, white fish, already it comes into play well with this. So any of those sorts of dishes I'd recommend with it. And again, just sort of let it take away. You can get that, and please do compare with Kipling if you have the opportunity to do so as well. And then malt profile, very similar to Kipling. Yet this is mainly low color Maris Otter. And then, sorry to hear, Steve, about that. And I hope you're feeling better there. And yeah, so this one, like I say, it continues that Quiet Storm series. You'll see more of these coming through. We have some German hops coming up. We have all sorts of different hop varieties, types, all at that 5.5% pale ale to hopefully just give you a little bit of an extra try and taste and recognition of those hop flavors too. And talking of that next one, actually looking ahead a little bit now to next month. So before we get into the final two, you may have seen, I know we've been posting out about our next box that's coming up. So just to give you a bit of an insight, we're going to do Salice, which is an Italian style pils. So we're really going for that big lager hit this summer. Again, we're hoping for the sunshine. We've got Peakender coming back. All the other festivals are coming back. So that one will use a lot more actually hopping into the tank. So you're going to get a really nice kick of that kind of more tropical on top of that refreshing lager style. Then we've got the Guinevere, which is a botanical wit, just absolutely packed with all these different gin botanicals. And just, again, actually a returning beer as well. We've got the Quiet Storm. This one's the Hughes Melon, which is a fantastic German hop. It's brewed to be a little more kind of modern, so it's a little more tropical. It's got a lot of strawberry characters coming through as well. So we've got lots going on with that one. We've got the next Pardus coming out as well with the Rocky Road too. And we'll be we're doing a new beer with the Lead Mill as well. So our Lead Mill IPA will make an appearance in there too. The Lead Mill is unfortunately struggling at the moment with some with its landlord effectively, and so you can check it out. It's a fantastic music venue in Sheffield that's been around. I've rung in 2 New Years there myself, I think. So if you get the chance, have a Google and look into the story behind it at the moment. And so, yeah, fantastic next box that we have coming up, and hopefully people enjoy the Quiet Storms. Have we got any questions or anything there, Rebs, that I've missed at all, or anything else in the chat coming through?
Yeah, a few people saying about Lead Mill is, yeah, we really do hope it does stay open and they can get things sorted out, because it is such a venue and it's a proper kind of Sheffield institution really. So it's yeah, student nights at the Lead Mill. Yeah, I think there's lots of people that it's got a special place in their heart really for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just that. So yeah, look out for that, because there'll be info coming out about that soon.
Yeah, so. Please. It is, yeah, as Rebs mentioned, I spent my first year at university in Hull, maybe 1 minute, maybe 30 seconds away from Lead Mill. So yeah, I mean, other than the New Year's, saw lots of fantastic gigs there. And lots of amazing nights. So yeah, hopefully it's something that comes through, and whatever we can do, a little bit of it as well there, with making the beer and promoting that too. Of course, as I'm not sure what happened there when I was looking down at the beers for the next year, I missed possibly the one that I'm most excited about of them all, the Braccia. So that one, we love Braccia anyway. It's one of our most established beers. If you look on Rate Beer, for example, it's our top rated 100 out of 100. It's been voted the best beer in Derbyshire on Rate Beer for numerous years, and one we're always known for. We put it in Beer Club, of course, previously. We brought it back in the 375s, and now we've been barrel aging some of it away. So we've popped it in bourbon barrels, and we've just got it coming through, and that will be launched for Beer Club as well, and very excited for that too. So Joe, giving me a nudge there, reminding me, and yeah, very, very excited for that one coming through as well too. So good range of beers in the next one. All right, and so as I say, keep popping any questions in. Tell us, if you come into Peakender, let us know. Hopefully most of you will be down there. If there's any other beers you're excited for, let us know. And anything else we've got coming up, you've got coming up. Will there be some events, I think, Rebs, is that right? We've got some of our own events coming up that we'll be at.
Yeah. So we've got Alan, one of our field sales managers, is at the Black Cloak Tap Room in Colwyn Bay tomorrow. And then we'll be pouring it around Sheffield Run this weekend in Sheffield, which is it's kind of like a cross-country run that's very popular with people who do running things. I'm not really into that sort of thing, so I don't really know that much about it, but there is a bar at the end in Endcliffe Park, which is great. So we'll be pouring there, and then we've got another tasting at the Eagle, which I think James is hosting next Thursday.
That's the one.
So that's beer and pizza pairing, and tap takeover and tasting at the Old Bell in Derby on the 16th of July. And then we are at Bakewell Country Festival, which is the kind of new Bakewell show up at Bakewell Showground on the 17th of July. And then we'll be pouring at Tramlines. So we will have our beers on at Tramlines, which will be great because that's always a fantastic event. And, you know, you can actually drink some great beer at a festival, which is the ways that things seem to be going, which is nice. And then we're also at Splendour Festival in Nottingham, which is at Wollerton Park in Nottingham that same weekend, the 23rd to the 24th of July. And then I think we've set the date for the next TBC tasting, so that's going to be the 21st of July next month. And then obviously Peakender, which is the 19th to the 21st of August. But you can come camp, or you can come for the Friday or the Saturday or the Sunday. We're just also in the process of looking at putting on some shuttle buses from Buxton train station and Chesterfield train station as well. So for those of you who can't get there, we know Bakewell isn't the easiest place to get to because there's no train station. So we're kind of working on putting some shuttle buses on, and we'll be putting tickets on sale for those as soon as possible, just as soon as we get everything up and running and confirmed. But we just want to make it as accessible for everyone as possible. And we know you can get to Buxton from Manchester quite easily and Chesterfield from Sheffield. So we're hoping that that kind of makes it a little bit easier for people to get there for the day if they just want to come, if you don't fancy camping, which not all of us do. So so yeah, quite a lot coming up. So if you're in any of those areas, then, you know, pop by, say hello. James, another James, and Alan, who are our field sales guys, are usually at our tap takeovers, and they're very friendly too. So yeah, it's always good to see friendly faces wherever we go.
Yeah, we've got a couple who joined us. Actually, Steve Hughes had seen us at Liverpool Beer Expo, was drinking the Quiet Storm.
Yes,
Steve,
I remember seeing Steve. It was nice to see you there, definitely, for sure.
And then Steve Russian was at Waterloo Tap as well. So thanks for joining.
Oh, great. Excellent. Yeah, I think that was George and Charlotte down at Waterloo Tap, was it? I think. Yeah, because I can't remember. They all blur into one, but I think we were at Liverpool and they were down in London. So, and we won't be at Why Not Festival. It is one that we've looked at. I think they have some different breweries there this year, but it's within our area, so we're trying to get hold of them and get in touch and see if it's something that we can potentially look at for next year. So it all depends on the festival organisers. Obviously, we'd love to be everywhere, but you know, it's where we can kind of get into. So yeah, potentially that Why Not in the future. And the Hogshead in Wolverhampton. So I think we commissioned some signage down there. I know there was somebody down there doing some spray painting today, and they were creating 2 booths. I think they've got like a Green Mountain booth and a Jaipur booth outside. So I think we're basically just supplying them with beer regularly. So you will hopefully always see beer pouring down at the Hogshead in Wolverhampton. So you'll know it's somewhere you can go to get Thornbridge beer. So hopefully that's good news if you're match days. Yeah, there you go, perfect. A few pints of Jaipur or Green Mountain on a match day sounds good to me.
Definitely. I believe James Buxton is down there today, actually, isn't he? I think he's made his way there.
Yeah, he was there earlier.
Don't worry, he's not doing any painting, he's not doing any artwork, so we're all right. I think he's just watching and just testing the beer, of course, making sure it's okay. And then I saw at Grumpy's Brewery Tap, there was some Braccia bottles there as well. So some of the previous batch, hopefully some else of you have saved it. I'm not very good at saving beers. They were exclusive to the beer club as well, actually, last year too. So if you did save it, well done. You've done better than me. And random thought on the homebrew challenge from Alan. Not currently any plans for it or into the future, to be honest, with so many festivals, events, and new beers coming through already with our collaborations. It's tough, and we know we want to give people the time. So when we've done them in the past, every beer that came in, every entry we had, we want to take the time to really go through, to judge them and to come back, because we know, of course, people want comments and people want to know any improvements they could make. And to be honest, if we can't guarantee that time and that effort to do so, then it's not fair, really, to be honest, to ask people to send us all of their hard worked beers into us too. So I believe, I might be wrong, I think Elusive still do a homebrew challenge if you're looking for one, maybe. Andy Parker from Elusive who's joined us on these before. We did Super User with him. He was a home brewer of some high regard before he started his own brewery. I think he does his own homebrew challenge. There are certainly other ones around. So if you're keen for the homebrew challenge, if you're looking for another one, you'll be able to find other ones too, for sure. And yeah, Joe said in there, the Super User was a class beer. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I like those kind of redder IPAs with that extra malt bill in there as well. Talking of IPAs, we'll pop on to, so we've got two more beers to talk about this evening. The first one coming up here, this is Belgian Halcyon. Some of you may remember this. Again, actually, I poured this one at Indie Man. I remember a few years ago now, the first time we did it. The first time, I think, may have been our original year of beer when it was only in keg. We were coming up with different styles for it as well. And actually been seeing a fantastic response to this one on social media. It wasn't one we had lots of people, maybe because we only did it in keg and it was a long time ago, people weren't demanding it back, but we said, we love this beer, we'll bring it. But now actually everyone seems to be very excited for it, which is fantastic. It's great to do it. The brewers enjoy brewing it because we have that Halcyon base, and we've done a lot of playing around with Halcyon over the years. We started brewing it originally on cask back at Thornbridge Hall. And the story of the name, even from then, was the brewers just lazing outside, taking a little lunch break and hanging out in this glorious sunshine at really this stunning country hall, and saying, wow, talking about the halcyon days of yore out of the hall and with all this big land and estate. And the name stuck while they were brewing it. And so we then did, mango halcyon, pineapple halcyon, all sorts of different halcyons on the back of that. And Belgian Halcyon was one where we didn't want to add an extra fruit or anything this time. We had that big hops, and we thought more about what would complement it even better. So while we know pineapple, of course, mango add to the fantastic hop bill that comes with Halcyon, the Belgian yeast strain that we're using. So we work with White Labs on finding a Belgian ale yeast that works really well. And instantly you start to get those phenolics from it. So phenolics is that, that kind of clovey little extra flavor that you're going to start getting. Obviously, sometimes it's a flavor fault. For this beer, it's exactly what we want from here. We want to taste that. And so we brew it, the Halcyon, it's still all the same otherwise. So it's the same malt, it's all the same hops. That yeast means that we bring the bitterness down just a tad as well. So regular Halcyon's got that fantastic that bitterness that you get in beers a few years ago before the big new wave of hazy IPAs came in. We love that bitterness in there, but we worked with the phenolics in here coming from the yeast, and we realized it was just going to be a little too much. So we toned the bitterness down. Everything else is there for the Halcyon. So that tropical fruit flavor that you'd expect. I mentioned pineapple and mango already, that guava, kiwi, really any sort of big tropical fruit you can think of, alongside that clove, that phenolic, and instantly I can smell the aroma. If I've got it in the glass here, even just a small, just in the bottom of the glass, I like these ones for this style. It helps to sort of capture the aroma in there as well, if anyone's got any of these glass types. And so hopefully these have been well enjoyed this evening too. Comes in at the same ABV at 7.4 as regular Halcyon. And like I say, instantly you get that mix of Halcyon just with that little touch of Belgian flavor you'd expect there as well. So a few in the chat there as well. So we've had, yeah, wow. Andy does indeed do a homebrew comp. Thank you for that, Alan. Just thought we'd make sure on that one too. And then Rebs, were there any, seems to be quite a lot of excitement coming in drinking this one, which is great. Did any pop up there that you'd seen?
Everyone loves Halcyon and all its many variants. Original Halcyon, one of the all-time faves. Liking this one as well, very good. Thanks, Joe. Huck did turn my head. Yeah, I love Huck. Huck's like my fave, I think, to be honest. But like Belgian IPAs. Got a case, excellent work, and a case of X, Jaipur X. Can't forget about that one.
No.
Yeah, bit more love for Huck. I like it.
Yeah.
Bring back Huck. That was my campaign for about 3 years, and then it came back. So happy days. Good to see Krackendale back in bottles. Yeah, we're very pleased about that as well. There's a lot of love for Krackendale out there. Belgian Halcyon was the standout beer in this box. Yeah, I think, to be fair, it was for me as well. Absolutely loved it, and was quite taken aback because I like Halcyon. I appreciate it, but it's not my normal sort of go-to beer, and I really liked the Belgian Halcyon. So yeah, lots of love for it, which is very nice.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see, and like I say, we got it back, and all that feedback has been fantastic. So yeah, thank you to everyone who enjoyed it as well. And Huck, yeah, definitely. Was a big fan of Huck when it came out. Krackendale there as well. So Krackendale, for those single hop fans, if you like the Quiet Storm series or similar, we've got that one's our Citra, of course. Melba's come back. All of our classic bottle condition beers, the Lord Marples, Brother Rabbit. Lots of beers coming back in. So any old favorites that people have been looking out for, please check them out there as well too. So, and we mentioned Jaipur X, so time to talk about our big Imperial IPA. So I'll open this one up. This one, of course, is, most of you will know this one. This was originally our anniversary beer. So Jaipur, again, we're here in Thornbridge Beer Club, so I know everyone knows, hopefully, Jaipur, of course, and how that's been for us. It's still our flagship beer over all these years. But I remember we were at the brewery, it was our 10th anniversary, and we thought, okay, we're going to do, if any of you remember our old bottles, and the neck labels for a while were the 10s on there. We had beer mats, posters, huge celebrations for our 10th anniversary. And we thought more about, well, what can we do? Jaipur's birthday's coming up here. And we were like, well, why not just brew a 10% version of Jaipur, which of course sounds very exciting to everyone. So we certainly sat down to it. The brewers worked out the recipe. So we're using, again, it's all those hops that you'd expect from Jaipur, just souped up. So you do instantly get that. For me, it's a very, I drink a lot of Jaipur, so it's a very distinctive aroma straight away. But if you handed it me, I'd say, okay, that's Jaipur. It's those 6 hops are in there. That flavor really starts to come off it. We thought about the different names for it, and Jaipur X has been quite nice. We have people call it Jaipur 10, Jaipur X. Jaipur Kiss has come up from time to time as well, but that's typically after they've had 1 or 2 of them. And so, yeah, we did it just as a one-off. And I remember being at the brewery when we launched it, and people turning up at the brewery. We'd put it on social media. Our online shop at the time kept crashing. People were turning up at the brewery. Actually, we had a queue outside the door for us opening that morning. Like, it was a fantastic response to the first time that we did this one. And every time since, really, we don't want to keep it as a permanent beer. It is a special beer for us. It's something we like to do every so often. One of the peakenders, we did a cask batch of it as well. We've done lots of kegs this time around. And something, we love doing this style of beer, and with it being Jaipur, with it being this recipe, it's a nice one. The only downside to Jaipur X is it drinks so easily for a 10% beer. It is, I can see some nods there as well. I know it's, everyone else has been there, I'm pleased to see. So I remember having a bit of a wobble walking out of the Hallamshire one night after, a couple of pints with some friends, and we were like, how is this even happening? After, like, Jaipur X, it should be chewy, it should be, hard to get through at 10% with so big hops in it, but it just drinks so well. So my only gripe with that one, but again, we like to bring it out and bring it back, and we're excited to see it. So hopefully Oh, someone, Steve Russian there, the DDH Jaipur on cask. I'm glad you've been enjoying that. We were talking about it in the office today. We'd all, of course, made our way out to make sure we tried it properly in different pubs. And yeah, the response to it was touching, really. Such a great response on social media to launching DDH Jaipur and cask. All the pubs calling up, demanding it in. And, it's been our flagship beer for that long, Jaipur. It's whenever we're doing these twists on it or, anything else we can do, we know we have to treat it with high regard, but we're always flattered by the response for it too as well. So any questions or anything I'm missing there, Rebs, at the minute coming up? Or...
So just some love for DDH Jaipur on cask, which is fantastic. It's been absolutely flown out, which is marvelous. I think it's just a great beer on cask, really. Like, we've never done it on cask before, and it's just gone completely mad, which is brilliant. So hopefully we'll look at doing that again. So if you haven't managed to get your hands on it, then I'm sure there is plenty out there. So hopefully you'll see it somewhere. But yeah.
For sure. No, Joe, we did do one batch of Jaipur X on cask. However, to be quite honest, keg is a much better format for it, I think. Once you do get to that ABV, even with something that drinks so easily, that little carbonation and everything else does help it to go down nicely, I think. So Jaipur, we always talk about regular Jaipur, even the DDH version at 5.9. It really hits that very tasty boundary where it works well. We're always impressed with how well it works in all formats. But yeah, once you get to that 10% on cask, it can then start to get a little chewy. So the carbonation's good. The keg's definitely the better format for it too. Tom missed it at the Colmore, unfortunately. But hopefully next time you'll get it in there as well. And they'll all keep the different beers coming through at the Colmore, of course, and everywhere else that you see it. That gets us through actually all of the beers this evening. If anyone's got any questions or anything coming up, hopefully we'll see you guys at Peakender. As always, please do get in touch. You can email us, email Beer Club, email info@Thornbridge, messages on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. Should any more questions pop up afterwards, tell us what you're drinking, tell us what you want to be drinking. If there's any great breweries you think we should be collabing with, hit us up, let us know, and it's always interesting. But most importantly, thank you all for coming along. Lots of great input on the chat actually this evening. Maybe it's all these big strong beers at the end. I don't know, Rebs, have you got anything else you want to mention before we finish up for the evening?
I think so. Just obviously get your tickets for Peakender, and look out for the email that we send around about the brewery tours, because I imagine they will go quite quickly. We do have limited numbers, but we will try and fit as many people in as possible. I think we're going to put 3 slots on to start with, and then we can always increase that if we need to. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Next tasting will be the 21st of July. So hopefully we'll see you then. And yeah, enjoy the good weather over the weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, thanks, Rebs, and thank everyone. I know Case had to jump off, but very flattered he joined us. And yeah, thank you very much to everyone. Thank you, Charlotte, for manning the chat and everything else there as well too. And yeah, please keep in touch, guys. We'll see you next time, and definitely see you all at Peakender. So cheers, and thank you all very much. Have a good night. Guys.